Hello, and welcome to another episode of Focus on Facebook. Live with me, Husnain Kermalli, Chief Medical Officer here at St. Mary's Hospital in Waterbury, Connecticut. Each month through this forum, we're going to be highlighting various services and expert providers here at St. Mary's Hospital and in the Waterbury market. Today, I'm really excited. We are going to focus on nursing. Nursing, as we all are aware, along with physicians and respiratory therapists, have truly been frontline heroes over the past nearly 2 years, but truly, and in my experience especially, have always been our frontline heroes in the hospital and in the medical world completely. Common headline today, of course, is the severe nursing shortage that is being experienced across all hospitals nationwide, but also here in Waterbury, and it affects us as well. And to find out more, I'm joined today by my wonderful colleague here, and truly my personal connection, our Chief Nursing Officer here at St. Mary's Hospital, Shawna Edwards. Welcome, Shawna.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, Shawna and I are partners in what we do here, liaisoning between, I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now.
It's a new word.
It's a new word. Partnering between the medical and the nursing worlds. And so Shawna, right off the bat, what is the state of nursing currently?
Currently, as you pointed out, the nursing shortage, as we hear it, is a nationwide issue, and partly in the reason for that, it's multifaceted. So really looking at our aging population that is out there, that is now coming to the hospital needing to be seen, and it's our baby boomer age, right? So that's one piece of it. The other piece is our aging population of our workforce.
Wow.
With our average age of a nurse being 47.5, and nearly 50% of all of our nurses are over 50. The other piece to that is what we hear quite frequently is nurse burnout. It's that caregiver burnout. And that's another very important piece that we need to look at. But that's one of the reasons. It's that exhaustion, or what's being called moral injury, that piece of your own mental well-being that is at question at certain times based on stress levels.
Tell us more about that mental anguish that our nurses are feeling, because that's important to me.
It's hugely important. And it's that feeling that when you are providing care, you don't feel that you're doing your best. And that's really a driver when providing care specific with the nursing profession, and I can say I'm sure with the physician profession as well, is you go into this profession to do a good job, to leave feeling that you were able to accomplish what needed to be done and what your own moral compass tells you needs to be done. So when that is challenged, you can imagine your own personal self is challenged.
Yeah, and as a physician, I'm in awe sometimes, especially during this past year and a half, 2 years with COVID, seeing what the nurses have left of themselves with the patient, and they're there gowned and masked and triple masks and goggles and face shields all day long, in with the patient simply to hold their hand.
Absolutely. The nurses have been that one line that is constant. So you can imagine where you are that person to your patient because a family member can't come in, if we're talking about our COVID patients, and what you have to extend. And it's kind of like, deposits and withdrawals. If you don't have enough deposits, you have so many withdrawals. And that's where we really need to focus on with our nursing workforce, is to really deposit into that group because they are giving so much of themselves to our patients.
Yeah, and truly it's a calling. A lot of the nurses that I've talked to, they say, I'm a nurse, and they put a full stop. It's who they are, and it doesn't just end when they leave the hospital. They're a nurse at all times.
Yeah. A saying is, I'm a nurse first, right? That's who you are. It's every piece of how you act, regardless if you are in the hospital or in the grocery store, right? You hear of these heroic stories about putting others first. And I think there's some new learning to be done around by putting others first doesn't mean you have to put yourself last. Mm-hmm. And I think for our nursing profession, that is something that's not been a common practice.
Right. I mean, it definitely has its pros and has its opportunities as well. So if I'm in the field or somebody looking as far as career choices going forward, what makes nursing a good career choice?
So as far as a career choice, there's multiple different things you can do within nursing. You can go in to nursing and do bedside care, which is heroic and fascinating. But there's also other facets within nursing that you can grow into. And I think that's really the great part. Nursing, once you are a nurse, it's portable. If you go to another state, if you go to another country, mm-hmm. It is portable. With reciprocal licenses, you're able to do that. It's also you're able to change your not only role within nursing, but your shift, right? So at the beginning, you may work a traditional 40-hour, and then you could go to a flex position, a per diem position, a 3 12-hour positions. So you can kind of mold into what you need. And that's different from some other professions. Yeah. You can change roles, but oftentimes it's traditional types of hours per se.
Gotcha. So what are some of the skill sets that a nurse would need on their day-to-day
I would
function?
say first and foremost is, and what's near and dear to us as nursing, is that empathy, mm-hmm. right? It's that way that we are able to, and it's that human piece, right? We're humans and we can empathize. We choose to empathize with our patient. That to me is our biggest attribute as nurses, because without that we could not do what we do.
Right.
That's the biggest one. The next is, organizational skills, the desire to learn, the desire to be flexible, good communication skills, patience, just being patient, and then being innovative in your thought and open-minded. Those are really the biggest things that you would really need. The knowledge base for being a nurse, as far as going to school and doing those things as well. And then I would say all of those together really mold you into who you are, as well as your experience once you become.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about, or some degree of the clinical areas of nursing. What are some of the non-clinical areas of nursing that are in the field?
So there's quality, there's data analysis, there's dashboard building, there are different decision supports that you can do, as well as just a performance improvement specialist within nursing. There are lean process improvement type positions. There are value analysis type positions, informatics. What else? There's administrative, managerial, operations. There's many different hats you could wear within nursing. So that's to your previous question. There's not one lane. There's several lanes. And that is the beauty of the profession, because in each one of the professions, there's a nursing process that we follow. So myself as a CNO, that same process I follow when I'm doing or solving problems. So
Gotcha.
this right here, the different lanes, it's really great for nurses to grow.
Yeah, and it's amazing even here at St. Mary's the different opportunities that are available for nurses. I mean, we talk about quality. A lot of those individuals who help us on the different quality metrics, ensuring that we're a A-type hospital, and then reviewing different cases from a clinical perspective to see where our opportunities lie and improvements, all in nursing. The case managers who help with where to help patients after the hospital and transitioning their care. Many of them are from nursing backgrounds, and so it's not just bedside where they're practicing. They're everywhere in the hospital.
And the beauty of that is, even though it is a different role that they're in, they're still able to show that empathetic care, and that's what makes them so good at what they do. If you're analyzing numbers and looking at different processes, but you have that patient as the forefront, right? You're not touching the patient, but what you're doing helps us touch the patient better. And that's truly amazing when you see nurses step into those roles.
Yeah. Well, like you said, nurses are nurses forever, which is beautiful. Yeah. So let's talk about, again, St. Mary's. Mm-hmm. What makes St. Mary's nurses a different breed?
I think I'm about 3+ years here in Waterbury, and I know you're newer to the Waterbury
Yes.
market, and there is a distinct feel here at St. Mary's and in Waterbury community, and I think that helps us stand out as an institution that really has that feel, that welcoming, open, caring feel for their colleagues.
Tell us more about that feel, because I felt it here.
Yes.
in coming to St. Mary's Hospital as well.
And I too felt that feel. And it's really about feeling welcomed, right? You don't always go somewhere and feel that you're welcome. And you feel it from all facets, not just in the clinical arena. It's from when you walk through the door, go to the cafeteria, see somebody cleaning you see the interactions that, honestly, in my over 25 years of nursing, I haven't felt that. And I've been in wonderful organizations. I just haven't felt that same feeling that I feel here. And I think it's very unique, and it's very exciting to be a part of it, stemming from our leadership's belief of going out to the areas to meet our colleagues, to constantly stay in contact where you're connecting on that personal level. And to me, you see that where our own president goes and talks to everybody that he encounters, and they feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
That is a special thing.
We got those open lines of communication. I felt it almost like a family,
Yes.
And everybody just opened their doors, like one of those big Thanksgiving dinners that we haven't had in a while.
Yeah, it's like pulling up a seat. When you come through here, people pull up a seat.
Yeah.
It's not that the table's full and, the new person has to look for that seat in the back. It's everybody is willing to move over and usher you in. And that's something that is just not tangible, but you see and you feel it.
Yeah. And how does that play and I imagine that plays a role in balancing that difficulty that we're feeling in the nursing world.
It definitely does. It definitely does. We have great nurse leaders who are out and about, and their dedication and compassion for the staff in which they lead is just bar none.
Yeah.
And that's about that same feeling. They know every aspect of their staff, and they work to bring issues forward so that we could look to be innovative and flexible and creative. in how to kind of forge through this difficult time that we're facing.
What are some of the programs that we have here for nurses? I think there's been talk about the nursing residency program here specifically.
We do have a nursing residency program, which we are very proud of here. It is, we have residencies throughout Connecticut, but we really focus here at St. Mary's with a very hands-on approach. We have one of our lead nursing professional development specialist, Sally Silva, who has really helped to grow this residency program into a individualized plan of care for the nurse. And when we were going through the height of COVID, we had cohorts going through. And wow. Some would think that you would really focus on skills and focus on certain aspects. But what Sally did was to look at that time and say, they need to focus on self-care. They need to focus on ways to be able to deal with what's going on around them so that they can be successful and present when providing care. So that is what is so different and fascinating about what we have here in our residency program. That willingness to do something different and that willingness to be what it needs to be. And that's really important in recognizing what our workforce is going through.
Yeah, yeah. And it just to me demonstrated a different outlook in terms of the traditional way of doing things and then sort of the St. Mary's way of doing things.
Absolutely. Now what we're actually even looking for is, say, per diem nursing faculty who are out there that might be interested in helping to support our nursing residency program and or our newer nurses. So we are putting word out to our schools that we affiliate with to see if we have anybody who would be interested in doing that on a per diem basis, to be that extra support at the bedside, because that's what our staff need, be it our preceptors who are precepting or our preceptees who are being precepted. We need that extra support for answering questions, showing procedures, and it's a great time to usher in those who may be in faculty who might be interested in that.
Yeah. And I know when we talk about bedside procedures, one of the things you and I have talked a lot about is the nurse-physician relationship at the bedside. Let's broach that subject for a moment, because in the height of the pandemic, there has been a challenge to that relationship. Let's talk about that for a second. How is the nursing-physician relationship in your mind, and what's been going on? How can we manage it?
I think you have two different roles who are in stressed times. And I think there's both priorities that are being done. And I think now I know working on that relationship is key to helping the current situation. So I think it's really important how we broach that is modeling, right? Nurse, physician right here. That's something that we model to show our team that it can be done. That even though we may have different priorities at the time, our priority is patient care. We all know that. And working together to accomplish that is key.
Yeah.
So I think open lines of communication, and again, flexibility. We all know, and as much as we have new technology piping up, we have some traditions within healthcare that are harder to kind of go away from. Rounding schedules, certain types of documentation, those types of things. This is the time for us to say, let's be creative. How do we do it differently that will better serve us together? Yeah. And I think that is something that is going to be the thing that helps us.
And it's when you talk about flexibility and working together, I remember hearing a little while ago, some good shout outs to physicians for coming in and helping with boosting the patients and whatnot. And I was thinking, wow, a physician going in to boost a patient, that should almost be second nature, but it doesn't seem to be all the time.
Again, I think things have changed. Mm-hmm. The whole dynamic has changed, and this gives us a new opportunity to kind of get back to basics, right? Some of the things and some of our challenges, when you really drill down and look at it, a lot of it is basics. And if we really focus on that, some of our solutions are right in front of us.
So one solution I want to highlight is the Good Samaritan project, which you've been spearheading specifically. And tell us a little bit about that project.
So it's exciting. It's traditionally, those who would know of it, it would be the no pass zone. Mm-hmm. It's basically saying that all patients within the organization are our patients, regardless of your role, regardless of where you work. They are our patients. And the job is for us, if I'm rounding on a unit and I hear a pump and I can safely go into the room because I have the skill set to turn off the pump, that I do that, and then I would let somebody know. To somebody who might not have the skill set would then go by and then alert somebody that there's needs. So it's that whole kind of adage or thought that it takes a village.
Yeah.
It can't be just a nurse on a unit. It needs to be everybody on that unit.
And that's what I think is going to be the great part of where we're going to lead, to really ensure that what the nurses are doing is amazing. I'm in complete awe when I see what they're able to accomplish for my patients. And we want to be a part of that. We want to be a team taking care of, again, back to the patients.
And that initiative is regional wide. So our other sister hospitals, Mercy, St. Francis, Johnson, are all doing this. And it really kind of highlights our institutions, Trinity Health and Trinity Health of New England, in the sense of the Good Samaritan, which is no pass zone, is really a parable that you are not just a passerby, that you stop and you care and you react. And I think going to what you said, physician relationships, nurses on the floor needing extra, it's all to that, is recognizing that it can't be one person, that it has to be all of us to help us get through this.
Well, I want to thank you, of course, Shawna, for coming in. I want to thank all the nurses throughout the nation, here in Waterbury, and especially here at St. Mary's Hospital and within Trinity Health New England, for all the excellent work that you continue to do day in and day out. From Husnain Kermalli, thank you very much and have a great day.